Magpies and kookaburras are two of the most popular wild birds to visit Australian homes. But when they leave our backyards, they return to a private world, which is a mystery to most of us. A bird's-eye view of this secret life reveals behaviour as surprising and fascinating as any to be found amongst Australia's unique wildlife. For thousands of years, the death of night has been marked by a bird call that has come to characterise the Australian bush. In Aboriginal legend, the early morning call of the Kookaburra is a signal for the sky people to create light, so that all the bushland creatures can awaken to the glory of a new day. But behind the kookaburra's unmistakable laugh lives one of Australia's most fascinating birds. Kookaburras are native to Australia and New Guinea. They thrive in areas where a plentiful supply of food is available all year round, like the woodlands and open forests of Australia's east coast. Australia is home to two kookaburra species. The laughing kookaburra, also known as the laughing jackass, is the largest and is only found in Australia. The smaller blue-winged kookaburra is found in northern Australia and New Guinea. It has the characteristic blue wings and its own distinctive call. The pale-coloured eyes of the blue-winged kookaburra are quite different from the brown eyes of the laughing kookaburra, which are surrounded by dark bands to lessen the effects of the sun's glare. Kookaburras are kingfishers, and the laughing kookaburra is the largest member of the family. Like the sacred kingfisher, kookaburras have adapted to living in woodlands, but the kookaburra is indeed a kingfisher. These magnificent birds have keen eyesight that is very sensitive to movement. They hunt by patiently waiting for their prey to reveal itself before making their attack. Unlike the birds of prey that use their large talons to seize and kill their victims, the kookaburra's feet are puny and are not used during hunting. Instead, they rely solely on their robust beak and exceptionally strong neck. They thrash their catch against the ground or a perch to kill it and break it into manageable pieces. Kookaburras have a remarkably cooperative social system. They live in extended family groups in which each new generation helps to raise the next generation and assists in territorial defence. A typical territory is about 5 hectares or 12 acres and includes dense tree cover for roosting and sheltering young, hollows for nesting, and open areas for hunting. Kookaburras are very territorial. When a stranger enters the territory, it is met with hostility from the whole family. Calling informs the intruder that the territory is taken. Tail pumping is the next aggressive warning. Flights to and from a nest hollow are another territorial signal to the stranger. Finally, the intruder takes heed. A bird of prey in search of food, like this black kite, poses a very different threat. Now the kookaburras mount a united attack. Their chorus of triumph helps to promote the bond between the family. Kookaburras also have to share tenancy with less formidable birds. One real menace is the goanna, notorious for robbing nests and renowned for its tree climbing skills. The goanna is perhaps the kookaburra's main enemy. In spring, the dominant pair of the group prepare to breed. Once kookaburras choose a partner, they stay together for life, which can be as long as 20 years. Before mating, the pair perform a ritual where the male feeds the female. She waits patiently for him to feed her, but he will not surrender the food until she gives a special call. This call is similar to the food-begging cry of the young and so stimulates him to offer the food. Sometimes it doesn't seem worth all the trouble. This courtship feeding also serves to supplement the female's diet and gives her the extra nourishment required to produce the eggs. Following courtship feeding comes the nest showing ceremony. While the female observes from a perch, the male digs out a nest hollow with his powerful beak. She keeps a careful watch over him, because without her participation, he may stop working, leaving the hollow unfinished. It seems that the quality of his craftsmanship is always under her scrutiny, much to his dismay. Her calls appear to entice him to work. The nest showing ceremony lasts for about 5 weeks and occurs whether they are building a new nest or remodeling an old one. During this time, the breeding pair may visit many hollows in search of the ideal nest. Kookaburras will nest in a variety of places, but they prefer a perch near the hollow and an entrance hole which is a comfortable size. In some areas, kookaburras will dig a nest in a termite mound. Towards the end of the nest showing ceremony, the breeding pair concentrate on the chosen nest. In late spring, the couple lay their eggs in the hollow, and here they are incubated for the next 4 weeks. Both parents share in the task of incubating the eggs, which also helps strengthen the bond between them. Indeed, amongst kookaburras, it is not just parents, but all the members of the group that assist with incubation. With so many helpers to take care of the eggs, the offspring have a much better chance of survival than if cared for by the parents alone. As hatching approaches, the parents may try to feed the eggs, a sign that the chicks will soon emerge. Finally, in early summer, the chicks hatch. The newborn chick is naked and completely blind. But through its ears, it can detect the adult's soft call, which stimulate it to try and raise its tiny head to be fed. As the eggs were laid separately, they hatch a day apart. The eldest doesn't always welcome the arrival of the second chick. However, its aggression is short-lived. With as many as 4 helpers to supply food for the chicks, the parents can devote more time to feeding themselves or brooding their young. The chicks' food-begging cries stimulate the adults to feed them. The eldest chick has the loudest call and is usually fed first. This means that when food is scarce, at least one of the offspring has a chance of surviving. However, hunger is not the only threat. With the sighting of a familiar enemy, panic enters the kookaburra ranks. The drive to protect their young is so strong that the chicks are temporarily abandoned so that all the family can join in the attack. Risking a broken neck, they plunge fearlessly at the goanna. Victory is often marked by a display of triumphant laughter. After a few days, the chicks develop their first feathers. Because kookaburra chicks develop in a warm hollow, they don't require the protection of down feathers, but begin growing directly into adult plumage. For the first few months of their lives, the chicks are totally dependent on the adults for food. At 2 weeks, the chicks' eyes are still not fully open, but they can hear the adults calling to entice them to feed. Having a permanent territory means the kookaburras can get to know their hunting areas well, and so provide a constant level of food. By the time the chicks are 3 weeks old, their eyes are fully open and they're covered with rudimentary pin feathers. At this stage, the hooked tip of the beak, which was used to break out of the egg, is still clearly visible, but will soon disappear. As kookaburras are woodland dwellers, much of their diet consists of forest floor animals, such as snakes, like this blind snake. Those birds that live near water can feast on additional gastronomic delights, such as fish and crayfish like this freshwater yabby. Freshwater yabbies are one of the largest creatures to be fed to the chicks. Even the most gluttonous of youngsters can find these a real mouthful. With all the caterers providing such a variety of food, the chicks develop a taste for an extensive menu. They relish baby birds, mice, skinks, insects, crayfish, lizards, and a whole lot more. At 5 weeks old, the chicks look rather like adults, except they have shorter beaks and a very short tail. They are now fully plumed with their first feathers, which are retained for a year and then replaced during the post-juvenile molt. Now, the adults don't need to enter the nest because the chicks have shifted to the edge of the hollow and literally demand their food. Some Kookaburra chicks have the know-how not to pollute their nests, but in this family, this doesn't seem to be the case. After 6 weeks in the hollow, it starts to get very uncomfortable because maggots have taken over the nest. It's clearly time to leave. The adults try to lure the youngsters out with a series of calls and the tempting reward of food. Once out of the nest, the fledglings never return. Instead, the parents take them to an area of their territory with dense bush for protection, and here they spend the next few weeks. It's a perplexing time, as the young must adjust to their new environment and sleep outside the nest for the first time. The fledglings are especially vulnerable to predatory species, but instinctively they know to freeze and adopt a pose that makes them less visible from above. The young Kookaburras still can't fly properly, so an adult encourages a little practice. By withholding the food and calling, the adult tries to tempt the youngster to fly. Next comes a music lesson, so the youngster can practice the famous call. There is one more skill that a Kookaburra has to master, and the juveniles watch the adults perform this with expert control. Then it is a beginner's turn. Probably only half the juveniles will survive their first year to become competent hunters. But those that do have a good chance of living out their expected 20 years lifespan. In a few years' time, these beautiful birds will leave their family group to find partners and territories of their own.